Hi guys, so it's been almost 2 months since I've picked up my Model 3 Performance, and I wanted to give you guys a quick update since I gave my initial short-term review of the car. Now, I could save you some time by saying right in the beginning of the video that I'm absolutely in love with this car, but also wanted to shed some light on some of the areas where Tesla doesn't quite deliver, as these are some of the things that I worried about too before making my decision to purchase the car. And as I researched online before placing my order, there were some things that I saw were being talked about a lot on various Tesla forums and within the online community, from quality control issues, paint defects, panel alignments. These are all really crucial pain points to be aware of when purchasing a Tesla. So in today's video, we're going to talk about some of these questions that you or any future Model 3 owners might have, as I did, if you're currently on the fence about pulling the trigger on placing an order. And if you find this video helpful and do order your Model 3, please feel free to check out my Tesla referral code in the description below for a free 1,000 miles of supercharging for both parties. Alright, let's get back into it. The first point that I wanted to go over is quality control. Now, as you may have heard already, Tesla isn't exactly known for excellent quality when it comes to their paint or their panels. I've personally lucked out a little bit with the paint on my car, as there weren't any major defects or areas that were clearly buffed out when I got my Model 3 paint corrected. But this was one of my main worries that I definitely had before making a purchase, as I read about and saw so many horror stories of huge panel gaps and even unpainted areas on the car on certain panels upon delivery. But I do think that overall the quality of the Model 3s and Ys have been drastically improved due to manufacturing being streamlined on their production line. However, I did notice quite a few panel gaps upon taking delivery of my car. Here's a really good angle. When you look closely at the rear doors, you can see that it juts out a little and it isn't exactly lined perfectly. The door shuts perfectly fine and there isn't a huge issue that I've seen so far, but nonetheless it is something that catches your eye and definitely can't be unseen if you see the car every day. And here's a better angle of what the door looks like looking down. Again, not something that I would personally refuse delivery for or wouldn't purchase the vehicle for, but definitely a noticeable flaw that Tesla does have room to improve on, and you can notice the same thing here on the rear as well, just above the trunk. And when looking in the interior, I also noticed some weird marks and smudges in a few spots on the pillars and on the dash, and then also some gaps as well in the trim. I have seen some weird experiences that were much worse than mine, and it is definitely something that you wouldn't expect from a brand new car. But again, I think it's something that Tesla owners can live with. I personally wouldn't make this a reason not to buy a Tesla, given that the car itself is a far superior product than any other car out there. Second point that I was really uncertain about prior to my purchase was my home charging capability. Now, as I waited for my Model 3 to be shipped to Hawaii, I did do a ton of research about upgrading my charging setup at home to a level 2 charging. Right now, I do just use a standard 120 volt outlet, and I did look into purchasing a Tesla wall charger or upgrading my outlet to a NEMA 1450, which would charge your car at a much higher rate and eventually maybe even save you some costs down the road by avoiding peak hours. But so far I have to say that I have zero complaints with my level 1 charging, which charges my Tesla at about 4 to 5 miles per hour. If you commute to work and are able to charge your car from, let's say, 7 p.m. to 6 a.m., that's already roughly about 50 miles of charge of range per night, which should be perfectly fine for those with a short commute. The Model 3 Performance is advertised on Tesla's website as boasting 350 miles of range per charge. However, you do want to keep in mind that you want to charge your car only up to about 85 to 90% of your battery on a regular basis. So that does knock off about 30 miles of range. So if you're someone who values maximum amount of miles, then definitely go for the long range option. But again, overall, level 1 charging hasn't been really an issue for me whatsoever, and range anxiety as well for that matter. As long as you're able to charge your car daily and maintain a healthy battery, then you should have no problems at all. One last thing to keep in mind is that if you've never owned a Tesla or electric car, you want to keep in mind that when you're purchasing a Tesla, basically you're buying a computer on wheels, which is constantly improving over time. With battery technology always evolving, it's easy to tell yourself that you'll just wait until the new model or new refresh is released. Tesla just announced their Plaid Plus Model S, which, by the way, looks absolutely insane, is a great example, although it was somewhat anticipated already. But if you are waiting for the next model to be announced, then I would highly suggest that you go ahead and pull the trigger, since there is no doubt you'll still be getting the best EV on the market. You won't regret it. So that wraps it up for today. Let me know in the comments below if you found this video helpful or really interested in your thoughts on the new Model S and X. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did enjoy the content and haven't done so already, please consider subscribing for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.